Hello, hello, hey, sweet people, and welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. My name is Foster, and as always, I am here with
Alexia. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome back, Alexia. We have been out of commission, let's say, for the past couple of weeks. Fortunately, we put some episodes of Improve Your English, Improve Your Life, the podcast that I recorded with Jackie. We hope you like them. But, Alexia, do you want to give our listeners an idea of how our last few weeks have been?
Yeah, sure. So for those who are subscribed to our newsletter, you guys know already that we got COVID. It was Foster's first time, and it was my second time with COVID.
Yeah, believe it or not, after more than 3, almost 4 years of pandemic world, this was my first time getting COVID.
Yeah. Well, but I'm not exactly super surprised that you got now. It makes sense. It's the end of summer here in Portugal. We had the youth thing of the Pope in Portugal as well.
Yeah, the Pope gave me COVID.
No, he didn't, but that's okay. So it's like a lot has been going on in Europe right now because of summertime. So a lot of people are coming and going, a lot of diseases and viruses, and COVID's still a thing. So he got it.
Still a thing. I got it. It was not fun. Alexia, can I make one correction and one just interesting phrase I want to pick up on?
Yes.
Okay. First, can you pronounce the name of the continent?
Europe. So
imagine like your, but with a really redneck. Europe. Like it's your turn. É sua vez. Europe. There we go. Boa.
É sério?
É sério.
I prefer Europe, so much cleaner than
Europe.
Okay, so let me try it again. Europe.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like so fast and pushed together, but listen to me say it one time. Europe.
Yeah. Europe.
Better.
Europe.
Better.
Okay.
We will continue training that.
Whew.
And just one phrase I wanted to mention. When I was saying it was my first time with COVID, I said, believe it or not. How would you translate that to Portuguese?
Não acredito, não.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. But when I was at physical therapy the day before yesterday, my physical therapist said, por incrível que pareça.
Sim.
And I was like, that's a great way to say, believe it or not.
Por incrível que pareça. Exatamente.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got COVID, and my experience this time, it was much, much better than the first time, but it was rough on me. It was awful. So I didn't have fever.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
I think I would say I didn't have a fever.
I didn't have a fever, but the rest, like my sense of smell was gone. And tasting some specific things, it was really awful as well. And a lot of body pain. But I didn't have headaches.
Okay, 2 things. A lot of what pain?
Body pain.
Okay, a lot of body pain, and you didn't have headaches.
I didn't have headaches.
Yeah. So with headaches, you can say, I have a headache, or I got a headache yesterday. But the mistake that you and most of your Brazilian friends out there tend to make is people say, I'm with headache. And we don't really say that naturally in English.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was completamente entupida. Congested?
Congested, stuffy, runny nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. What about you?
For me, so I tested positive before Alexia. So in all likelihood, I probably gave you COVID.
Yes.
Which I'm sorry about. Yeah, so for a couple of days, I was just not feeling great. Like, I was like, God, I think, like, why am I so tired? And we were going to, not a party, but like a lunch. And I was like, Alexia, do we still have any COVID tests in our apartment? And you were kind of thinking like, Foster's being dramatic again.
But you have to be fair, because you thought that you had COVID for at least like 12 times. And whenever you did the test, it was a negative.
Yeah, pretty much. Whenever I wake up and I'm not feeling great, I think I have COVID.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a hypochondriac sometimes. But this time, I was right.
Yeah.
So I tested positive on a Sunday, and then the rest of the day, like, I was like, okay, I'm feeling bad, but not too bad. I'm going to just kind of sit around and just be comfortable in the house. Then that night was like the worst headache I have ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
I don't really like get headaches that often. And it was just like pounding, like boom, boom.
And
boom.
COVID headache is very, very different than any other headache that I ever had.
Yeah.
It's very painful. Like, I know the headaches are painful, but this one is awful. It's just like a migraine, I think. So migraine is enxaqueca.
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 That's a fun word.
Migraine. Enxaqueca.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say the first day or two, essentially I was having like a constant migraine. But after that, it's strange. I didn't really have like the congestion symptoms that you had. I did have a little bit of difficulty breathing and stuff like that.
Coughing.
But just a lot of weird stuff. I started having these tension headaches, which it just felt like one like little muscle in my brain like randomly would start like shocking me. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I do not recommend.
I hope that when you have it the second time, it's going to be just like me. No headaches or anything like that. And I mean, it was awful, but if I had to like go to the supermarket or things like that, I could. It was manageable this time. My first time, it wasn't manageable at all. We didn't do that because we care about other people and we don't want them to have COVID as well. So we try to stay at home as much as possible and just like take Buddy on walkies around the neighborhood.
On walkies?
On walkies.
Yeah. Just to clarify, Alexia is being cute using doggy vocabulary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to admit, Alexia, it was quite disappointing that we just recently restarted recording the podcast on a more frequent basis. We were super excited about it, preparing new courses and all of these things. And then, boom, COVID just had different plans for us.
Yeah, and the feeling of feeling guilty of not working and like frustrated, it was very, very hard to deal with this feeling inside. Because, first of all, we made a promise for ourselves that we would restart the podcast and restart a lot of things with Inglês and cru. And then we had to stop because we couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Like reading an email, it was giving me, it was making me extremely tired, for example, because of my body pain. And for you, because of your headache, you couldn't even look at the screen.
Yeah. But again, so many people have sent sweet emails.
Yeah.
If I have not responded to you yet, or if one of us has not gotten in touch, we love you. We really appreciate it. It really made us feel good.
Yeah. But one thing about this is that we are good to go for the next 6 months because COVID won't be in our bodies in the next 6 months.
I think actually because it is in our bodies.
Exactly.
We won't contract the disease again.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I totally hear you, Alexia. I know that you were feeling really guilty the whole time because you were not able to work. I think I always feel guilty when I'm not working. So at least this time I kind of had an excuse. It's like, well, I do have COVID and I physically cannot work. So that made it a little better, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, that's it. I think this was a very good episode to talk about a subject that is still very, very, how do I say, fresh?
Relevant, maybe?
Relevant. Yeah. So there you go. We had COVID just to make this episode for you.
Yes. And next week we will be back on track. I have a really cool idea for a series that honestly I haven't thought about it enough to articulate it live on air right now, but you'll have to tune in next week. So as always, keep up the good fight.
And lose well. Bye.